All right, we are live. I'm Joe Terosian, and this is RamView for April the 6th, 2022. And we're going to make this an abbreviated one today because there's a lot of stuff going on, and I kind of want to do some mock drafts, getting ready as we're get inside to 3 weeks. And by Friday, I want to do a mock draft and share a little bit about that. But I'm also hesitant to do mock drafts because they're wrong, and the last thing you want to look like is you're wrong. I want to be right because why would you click on? I'm not inside the building, so the truth is, if you're not inside the building, you better be right in your breakdown of things. I think I'm pretty good at seeing things, following football for so long, being around the Rams, writing sports for so long. But still, it's not the same as being in the room. I'm not sitting there. I'm not interviewing Les Snead. But you try to get a sense of how the Rams are trending with their picks, and we've done that. That's what we do. We watch how they're trending things. So one of the things I wanted to get into today was a little bit of cap space, and also because we're coming to the draft, a little bit of how quick things change, and how you go from 1 minute getting a hug from Roger Goodell, handing a jersey and a hat, and everyone's applauding you, to the next minute you're yesterday's news. And so there is something. It's so ephemeral. It's so fleeting in terms of sports and any context like that, and especially now in this culture, because in any aspect, the culture moves on, the mob moves on. What's important today is not important tomorrow. I think in some sense I see that, not to turn into a political thing. You see that with Colin Kaepernick a little bit. I don't think he's changed his views on anything. There was the statement about slavery in the NFL, and he's got a right to his political beliefs and everything. But there was just this, to me, I just got this sense of, please, I'll come back and be a backup. And you could say it's graciousness, but it also could be, hey, the world's moved on, and what was important in 2016 through 2018 is not important in 2022. We're very fickle. Can I just bring up this? When was the last time you heard somebody talking about Brian Flores' suit against the league for hiring practices and all that took place? Remember, it popped in during the silly season, which is the silly season is truthfully not after the Super Bowl. It's the 2 weeks that the media has to fill before the Super Bowl. And so you're always getting, that's when the DUI or the found tape or found footage is delivered to cause drama. And the timing of the Brian Flores suit, while I'm not saying it wasn't valid, but what I'm saying is they presented it that first week before the Super Bowl, and it got all the buzz, all the hype. Everyone's hyping, even Shannon Sharp and everybody on Skip Bayless on their show. Like, oh man, we got to fight for justice. We got to get this right. Hey, we talked about it for a month, right? You know why? Because the wheel in the sky keeps turning, and everyone keeps moving on, and so it's just how quick you get left behind, and so you have to decide what's important to you. And enough of that rant a little bit, but we'll get more into it a little bit later. Not counting the signing of the devastating punter Riley Dixon, who started off the 7th-round pick with Denver and had a nice season there, parlayed that into a little bit more money in New York. The Rams, I'm looking at the track today. I didn't see, maybe Over the Cap has it. His hit is about 1.3, 1.4. And I think the Rams going into that had a 7.1 rocks left space on the cap space. And so the Rams got a punter. At a mill, I'm guessing there's just going to be a camp leg that comes in. They're not going to necessarily, and of course it's not guaranteed. They could draft if a guy is there, if Matt Ariza is there or Jordan Stout is there in the 7th round or late 6th. You can see the Rams drafting him, but my guess is they'll bring in a camp leg, and Dixon will have the job if they're going to give him that kind of money, which is significant. A mill for a punter is pretty good. We were paying, I think, Johnny Hecker 2.5 last year. But again, as I think I wrote in FanView today, the Rams don't ask much of their punters. Just when you're standing on the back of the end zone, just get the ball out. Also, they're going for it on 4th down a lot, so the punting opportunities come down, and just be competent, right? Just be competent, kicking from your own 25. Don't shank one, right? Just be competent and get some height. Let them call a fair catch and let the defense do their thing. I plus with Matt Stafford, I don't think we need to trick anybody anymore. We don't really need to have a punter who can throw. So otherwise, why not keep Hecker, right? So Riley Dixon, okay, the Rams signed him, and they still have $7 million space, roughly $7 million space on under their cap. And so they can do things that gives them some flexibility. And again, the prices on all these guys we were talking about, Jadeveon Clowney or some of these other players we were talking about yesterday, the price is going to come down. And so there's no rush to go to them. Let them come to us, and when the time comes, make a team-friendly deal, which is what the Bobby Wagner deal ended up being. So the Rams are in a good space. If you think of where they were a year ago, man, they didn't have much money. I mean, they didn't have hardly any money at all. And I don't think anything's been announced on Donald's deal or a cup extension. So they're going to free up more money as this goes forward. So the Rams are in a great spot. And they have 8 draft picks. 8 draft picks. Yeah, none in the first and second rounds, but 3rd, 4th, 5th, 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. They have a draft stock, and they'll be able to use it, package it, or just pick off players that end up supporting, And again, I still go back to it. If he never plays another down for the Rams scored with their last pick last year with Ben Skoranek, 7th round, and just the clicks they got out of him in the Super Bowl. Yeah, he tipped the ball that led to an interception, but his blocking, and he made a few receptions. He made a lot of blocks down the stretch for the Rams when the tight end department got broken up. And if he never plays another down, the Rams got clicks out of the 7th round. The Rams are getting clicks out of the 7th round out of Nick Scott. So we know this. I've covered all this with you. So the Rams have draft capital. They have space. And they don't have glaring needs. So this is setting up really nice for the Rams going forward, a chance to add depth. Also interesting, as we finished in February, we are not a full 2 months from the end of the Super Bowl, but you know what? On April 18th, about what is today, the 6th, 12 days, they're back in the facility. I think it's mostly workouts and cardiovascular. It's not running the offense or anything, but they're back in the facility on April 18th. And even though the season officially started a week or so ago, or last month in March, it really kicks in now because everything's the focus towards September, and that starts on April 18th. So that was one of the things I wanted to get across there. And the thing was, yesterday I talked a little bit about Dale Hatcher and Mark Bulger, former Rams, and you just get a little insight about football when you look at what happened to players and where they go. And one of the names I saw that popped up that reminded me of how quick things change was Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles was released by the New Orleans Saints, or he requested his release, probably because he wasn't getting a chance to play. And this is a team that started Taysom Hill, Ian Book, Trevor Siemian, and Jameis Winston before he got hurt. And he asked for his release because they weren't going to give him a shot. And they signed Andy Dalton, and they signed Jameis Winston. They re-signed Jameis Winston. So New Orleans kind of set at quarterback. But how bad when you're on a roster with Trevor Siemian, Taysom Hill? Sorry, he's not a quarterback. Taysom Hill and Ian Book, that you can't get a shot. He has not thrown a pass since he was with the Rams in 2019, Blake Bortles, and it's over. Let's be real. He was the 3rd overall pick in the 2014 draft. The 3rd overall pick, right, for Jacksonville. And 3 times in his years with Jacksonville, I think he was there 5 seasons, 3 times he threw for over 20 touchdown passes, right? He threw for 35 in 2015. He got them to an AFC title game. And it was obvious that they felt like they couldn't go any further, and they moved on. And he was the number 3 overall pick, and he's bounced to the Rams. He's bounced around some different places, and he's yet to ever play again, really anything significant since leaving Jacksonville. I think it was after the 2018 season. And you think about that, how quick it changes. Jared Goff, number 1 pick in the draft, gone. So quick. He's just a guy now. He's just a guy with a big contract. Todd Gurley, 10th overall by the Rams, early on in the Les Snead run, and a Jeff Fisher special, because he can run the ball. It was fantastic, but where's he been since really, he hasn't been anything like the Todd Gurley we got to know since 2018, and he didn't play last year, didn't do well in Atlanta in 2020, and it's over. It just changes so quick. 1 minute, Roger Goodell's hugging you, they're giving you a hat, and the world is at your feet, and then it's all over. Nobody wants Baker Mayfield right now. What are the Browns? They got him for 1 more year. And somebody could have him at that price if they want to make a deal. And it's not outrageous quarterback money. He's a starting quarterback. He's been to the playoffs. He's won a playoff game like Blake Bortles. But Nobody wants Baker Mayfield. How quick does it all change? 1 minute you're doing commercials, and the next minute no one wants you. And I go back to the 2014 draft, and Bortles was taken number 3 overall. The first pick in the 2014 draft is a guy that we've mentioned the last couple of weeks because people are clamoring for him, and I'm not against him, just at the right price, was Jadeveon Clowney. He was the number 1 pick of the Houston Texans in 2014. You remember who the second pick was? The second pick is currently getting ready to make license plates for life. It's Greg Robinson. The Rams just strike out all the time when they draft tackles with the second overall pick. See Jason Smith in the second overall in 2009. But Greg Robinson, who was the bust of the Snead era, he really was a swing and a miss. And Clowney and Robinson were taken before Blake Bortles. So those top 3 really didn't fare too well. Number 4 in that draft was Sammy Watkins, who the Rams got clicks out of, and he's still playing in the NFL. Number 5 is so far so good, perennial Pro Bowler Khalil Mack, and he's back with on the West Coast here with the Chargers now, Khalil Mack, and he's been a perennial Pro Bowler. And if he could put together a couple more seasons, maybe get to some postseasons, he might be a guy talking about Hall of Fame. Mike Evans, receiver in Tampa Bay, he was taken in that draft right after Khalil Mack. And then number 12 overall, OBJ was taken in that draft. Number 13, some dude that played for the Rams. Oh, yeah, his name's Aaron Donald. He was taken number 13. Later on in that draft was Zach Martin, who's a Hall of Fame, who is going to the Hall of Fame. He's like an 8-time Pro Bowler for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not a big Pro Bowl guy, but when you go to the Pro Bowl 8 times, that means your peers have sent you there 8 times. That means you're Hall of Fame bound. And so both Donald and Martin, I think, have been there 8 times. But they're still playing, but it's all over for Blake Bortles. I can't get it around how quick it all ends. In that draft, Bortles was taken number 3 overall. The next quarterback taken was taken at number 22, and his name was Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel, right? That ended pretty fast. The 32nd pick overall by the Vikings was Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater got off to a nice start, had that horrific knee injury, but he's just a journeyman quarterback. So literally Bortles, Manziel, and Bridgewater, all whiffs. And they were probably all in New York on draft day, right? They had that marvelous moment where they and then it ended. But it's interesting that the all 3 first-round picks of the 2014 that were quarterbacks, through 2014 draft that were quarterbacks, all 3 of those guys, Bortles, Manziel, Bridgewater, yeah, they were misses. The next 2 quarterbacks taken, number 36 overall, Derek Carr. Derek Carr is one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now. There are teams that would love to have Derek Carr. Derek Carr had a heck of a year last year. Derek Carr is a leader. And he's the reason why the Raiders have hope in that insane AFC West where everyone's handing everything to Denver already, which Denver is very good. But you know what? I think people have kind of figured out Russell Wilson a little bit. And I don't know if he's as devastating anymore, but we're going to see. Let's remember this. They're talking about, oh, now Russell has options as weapons. Well, he had Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, right? So don't write off the Raiders just yet and give it to Kansas City or give it to Denver. Derek Carr is a heck of a quarterback. And also the second quarterback taken in the second round of that same draft in 2014 was a guy named Jimmy G. And Jimmy G's been a successful quarterback in the NFL. He's been to a Super Bowl, been to an NFC conference final. He's not flashy. He's not pretty. He's not the guy I want to be my quarterback, but he's better than Bridgewater, Manziel, and Bortles. And yet they weren't in New York on draft day, were they? And so the reason I bring this up again is that to remember that all fame is fleeting, that what's popular today is not going to be popular tomorrow. It ends really fast. And that's a tough pill to swallow. It's tough to swallow as a fan because you fall in love with a player and you really want to see that player play. But then they fade and then they're gone. I can remember people upset that the Rams didn't re-sign Trumaine Johnson. It's like, oh man, Trumaine Johnson, he played another 2 years and he was gone, right? I remember when the Rams let go of Janoris Jenkins because the team was so bad in that St. Louis era. It's like, oh no, not Janoris Jenkins. We can't let go of Janoris Jenkins. And yeah, Janoris Jenkins, he's still Jackrabbit Jenkins. He's still bouncing around the league right now, but the Rams have been just fine without him. And so now I'm going to say something really cruel. And the thing I'm going to say that's really cruel is Robert Woods. Yeah, it sucks that Robert Woods got traded. Probably one of my favorite Rams of all time. And I go back to 73. I love Robert Woods. I don't think Allen Robinson, while having more physical gifts, is going to be Robert Woods. I hope he is. I think he's very good. But Robert Woods, along with Cooper Kupp, they do things that just can't be measured. And you know what? We're not going to be hating the Rams because Robert Woods is gone. He's gone. They come and they go. They come and they go. And it reminds me of the line from my first book, Tangent Dreams. The book opens with the dad saying to his son, appreciate it when someone wants you because they're not always going to want you. And that's why, anyone's still a kid, go to class, get a career, and play football. Don't play football, kind of go to class, and don't think about another career. Go to class, get a career. Oh, don't get your girlfriend pregnant. Don't get married before you're 20. And get your education, get a vocation, get a career, get something you're skilled at. And then if you can play football, go play football for a few years. Because the cheering that you get when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, Maurice Clarett, Who? Maurice Clarett. Anyone remember Maurice Clarett? It comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. All right. Hey, that's kind of a little more opinionated Ram view from for this day. We're hitting the 17-minute mark. I want to say thank you again for clicking on and following us. Please hit like and subscribe. I haven't had a new subscriber for a couple days now or a couple weeks. And, actually about a week, I think. But thank you so much for the support. I am wearing my Rams stuff today. You just can't see it the way I'm sitting up. You can see everything. I got my playoff socks right there. Just keeping the mojo from the vibe in them. And looking forward again to being back tomorrow, talking more Rams, getting ready for a mock draft. Have some fun with that. Hey, send us your mock drafts and we'll talk about them. A lot of you folks, a lot of you folks that click on and follow me on different things, please send me your mock drafts. I'll talk about your mock drafts on here, and it'll be fun. All right. I'm Joe Tarosian. Thank you so much for clicking on. Go to Amazon, check out my books. I showed you one of them. I'm a sports writer. I spent 20 years as a sports writer. I'm also a pastor of a small church in Burbank. God bless, and we'll talk to you about the Rams tomorrow. Take care.